Everybody, it's your girl, NickyNicole of Divas of the Roundtable Podcast. I'm joined here today with Mike Grubbs for a one-on-one interview. Mike Grubbs is a native of Chattahoochee, Florida. Mike is a seasoned serial entrepreneur with a passion for helping others succeed. With a professional background that includes leadership roles in companies like Sprint PCS, AOL Time Warner, and YP Holdings, Mike now dedicates much of his time to mentoring small and mid-sized business owners across the country. He currently serves as president of the board for New Life Counseling and Educational Services, a 501c3 nonprofit focused on providing mental health therapy, substance abuse counseling, and educational resources to those in need. Mike also sits on the board for the United Negro College Fund, championing education and opportunity for communities of colors. Mike, most notably, is the co-founder of Lit TV Network, an inspirational family-focused television network designed to educate, equip, and empower people of color. The Lit TV Network is now launching on local TV stations in major cities nationwide. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show, co-founder of Lit TV, Mike Grubbs.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Mike.
Thank you.
Listen, me and you have been talking off and on for over a year now since Divas of the Roundtable podcast started.
We have.
Okay. So I'm going to tell you now, just me and the other ladies of Divas of the Roundtable podcast being a new podcast on the scene, we were just honored to even be on your radar.
Wow.
You know, So because that was like the buzz, I believe you reached out to one of the other members first, and then you said something to me, and I was like, okay, somebody's noticing what we're doing. And it was like fresh when we really first got started. So that was something that really, touched us. We was like, okay, we on to something here. We don't know what, but we're on to something.
Absolutely. I've seen you guys from the inception.
Okay.
And just seeing the growth from then to now.
Yeah.
When I tell you, I love what you guys not only have done, what you're doing, and what's coming next.
All right. Sounds good. I'm telling you. So let's just get into it. Like, tell us how that you decided to even get into the business of starting a television network.
It actually found me.
Okay.
So I have a background in music.
Okay.
I used to own a record label years ago. I was co-founder of a record label, if you will. And the co-founder, my business partner at the time, Fred Anthony Webster, he used to be a ghostwriter.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, he used to write for Matthew Knowles.
Okay, yes.
Hip hop, R&B, gospel, it all. And so during that time, I was working for AOL Time Warner. And when he came to work there, it's like, man, I never knew anyone that knew business to the degree that you know. He was like, I want you to manage me and let's start our own record label.
Okay.
So I got into music. I didn't know anything about television.
Okay.
Moved to the country 2015, 2016. At this time, I'm training pastors and mentoring pastors and leaders around the world, if you will. My wife had a mini stroke.
Okay.
And when she had a mini stroke, it literally took almost 6 months to learn how to walk and talk again.
Okay.
After she got on her feet, I said, it's time for me to go back to corporate America because we lived on the dairy farm. It's 30 cows, 3 Angus bulls, and a horse on the farm that we lived on. So nevertheless, it was time for me to come back to corporate America. Got into real estate. So my business partner now with the television network was already in real estate, and he was doing phenomenally well.
Okay.
And so I put a message out there on Facebook and said, do anybody know any companies that's paying high 6 figures? He hit me up. He said, bro, you've opened so many doors for me in the past. He says, I'm in real estate. I make really, really good money. And I think it'll be an awesome opportunity for you.
Okay.
And I was like, man, I ain't got no real estate license. He said, well, you need to get your real estate license.
Okay.
And so he puts me on the phone with his boss at the time. And when he put me on the phone with his boss, he says, I've already heard enough about you. You're hired. I was like, you don't even know me. You don't know anything about me. So long story short, I wind up getting into real estate school, relocated, came to Jacksonville. I'm giving you the short version, if you will. And once I got here, my business partner came back and said, hey, bro, I'm thinking about to lead a company. Man, I done moved down to Jacksonville. I done brought my family down here. My wife done changed careers, done changed jobs. My children in school, you talking about leaving. I was like, what are you going to do? He's like, I don't know. He says, we're making really good money. And I just want to open up and posture and position myself to help other people make the type of money that we're making.
Okay.
So long story short, at the time, he and his wife had a podcast called The Lit TV Show.
Okay.
And LIT is an acronym that stands for Leveraging Information Together.
Okay.
So they will watch different things that go on in the news, national headlines, and every Thursday night, they will put a positive spin on it.
Okay.
So in the podcast world, anytime you start doing numbers, eventually television will come looking.
Okay. Yeah.
Companies, corporations going to want you to put their brand products and services in front of your audience or television because they see the money, the potential in what it is that you're doing.
Yes. Okay.
So long story short, he got invited to be on a television show that was based out of California.
Okay.
Fox Soul TV. Have you heard of Fox Soul?
Yes, actually I have.
So he was invited to be a guest on Fox Soul television.
Uh-huh.
Got on the show and they produced everything via Zoom. This is inside the pandemic.
Okay.
And so everybody's doing now. We have all type of streaming companies, streaming outlets that's out there. But back then, wasn't nobody using Zoom to do national broadcast television, if you will.
Okay.
And so after they went to cut to commercials and come back, he came to work the next day and he said, bro, I got it. I said, you got what? He said, not only am I leaving, but you're leaving too. I was like, what you talking about, Willis? She says, bro, he said, we need to do television. Now, mind you, I had never in my wildest dream ever thought about doing anything television-wise. He says, it's an opportunity not only for us to help other people make the type of money that we're making, but it's also an opportunity to bring positive information to the forefront. Yeah. And that's something that's really not being done.
Exactly.
So long story short, it was his harebrained idea. It started as a podcast, and then it evolved into a television channel because our initial goal, quote unquote, was to become what BET used to be.
Okay.
We wanted to be a television network, or channel, if you will, that was designed to help educate, equip, and empower people of color. Okay. Like, I'm going to date myself a little bit, but when I was coming up, if you wanted to know, like, the most popular gospel tunes that was on, Sunday morning, you're waiting for Bobby Jones, right?
Bobby Jones, gospel,
If you want to know fashion, you're looking at all the hip-hop shows that they have for the young folk on BET. Yes. So it really was an anchor, if you will, for our community and for the culture, if you will. Yes. And so since Bob Johnson sold BET to Viacom, it's become something somewhat different. Yes. So when it comes to our community, comes to our culture, when it comes to really, really shine a flashlight or a spotlight on the positive things that's being done in the Black community, there's not a lot of television networks out there that do that. That does that. So that's what our initial goal was, to become that. All right. All right. So let's see. What factors influence the type of programs that you all have on Lit TV? Well, both my business partner, E.C. Weston, and myself, we have backgrounds in ministry. Okay. For years, he was known as the nation's youth pastor. Okay. Anytime it would be like a big conference or a lot of youth, where it'd be 200, 300, 400, 500 kids, 1,000 kids plus, 9 times out of 10, he would be the keynote speaker. Okay. And I'm talking about all over the country. And if he wasn't a keynote speaker, he was doing some type of gospel hip hop. He was doing spoken word. Okay. So he really hung his hat for years, branded as the nation's youth pastor. My background, I've mentored and trained pastors all over the world. Okay. So I teach biblical Greek, teach biblical Hebrew. So a lot of times when pastors would have questions that they couldn't get from their pastors, their apostles, their bishops, if you will, I would be one of the people that they would call. I would be one of the resources before ChatGPT. Okay. So we both have a background in ministry. Okay. And so although we wanted to provide programming that Christians could watch, we didn't want to become a Christian TV channel, if you will. Yeah. We didn't want to box ourselves in. Because coming up, like I can remember as a little boy, when I get up in the morning, the news would be on. After the news would go off, then you would have some talk shows come on. After the talk shows, you have game shows. After the game shows, you have more news. After the news, you got soap operas. Yeah. After soap operas, kids come home from school, you got cartoons. After cartoons, you got the news. Yes. After the news, you got a movie. After the movie, you got more news. And then the TV go off. Yeah. But 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, it was something on there for the whole family. Exactly. That's what I was about to say. So basically, if you model anything now off of what they had 30, 35 years ago, 40 years, there we go. 40 years. That's right. Everybody was able to watch TV together at that time. Now, Everybody.
Oh my gosh. Now you have to censor, what is this about? And now they have the ratings at the top, like rated, mature audience and stuff like that.
That's right.
When before it wasn't no such thing as mature audience TV. Especially during regular daytime, you have these things going on. So that's a good thing that you all wanted to not box yourself in and just basically get back to the basics, get back to what TV was, when it felt good to watch it, when you can leave your child there maybe watching a program while you're in the kitchen cooking. Now you have to monitor everything that goes on.
That's right. And that's one of the reasons we're so passionate about this particular project. Mm-hmm. I have 7 boys and 1 girl.
Okay.
My business partner have kids as well. Mm-hmm. And so we wanted to have television again where we didn't mind being able, like you said, to take your kids, allow them to sit in front of the TV and not worry about everything that they would have exposed that can possibly be exposed to help shape their mindsets. So we just wanted to do positive television, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And like I said, we started out as a channel. Mm-hmm. And within 6 months, we were making plans to become a full-blown television network, launching channels all over the country.
Because something, when you just said that about when we were both discussed about the children, last weekend, I was here with my grandchildren, and I have 4 granddaughters and 1 grandson. And I was in their room, and I had the TV playing a show. And I was doing stuff, rearranging their room, hanging up clothing and whatnot. And one of the next oldest, she was in there with me. And the TV was playing, but I was focused on something else. Right. And I heard her call the granddaughter up under her into the room. And they was giggling. And I said, "What you said?" And she said, "Those 2 girls was on TV. They was kissing." Wow. And I'm like, I said, "I didn't even notice it. You saw it and you called her in the room to tell her." And I was just like, okay. And I turned the TV, but I wasn't even focused on, I just had a show playing, and it was a show called From, my mind wasn't even on that particular show. Right. And that just shows how fast it happens and how fast they could be exposed to different things, Absolutely. When, like I said, 35 years ago, we didn't see that on TV.
Yeah. My business partner wrote a book years ago, and it's entitled Untangling Satan's Web Worldwide. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I resonate with and gravitate to is that when you open the book, one of the first things it talks about is how you can spend all the money as you can as a parent to move in the best neighborhood. Yes. They can have the best security company protecting the outside of the house. Mm-hmm. You can have a fence around your house. You can have the best alarm system inside your house. Mm-hmm. You can have bars on the windows and on the doors of your house. Mm-hmm. And you can allow a child to go into a bedroom. And if they have access to a cell phone, a tablet, or a television, everything that you're spending all that money to keep out is right there in the room with them.
Right there in the room.
Right there in the room with them. So exposure is everything. So we're really trying to change the narrative when it comes to us as a people, a community, and a culture. You have some Black people that's doing some exceptional things. Yes. But when you look at mainstream television, if you're not playing football, you're not playing basketball, if you're not doing something to bring them money, then you don't even hear about these stories.
Yes.
So our mission and our goal is not only to help educate, equip, and empower our people, inspire our people, but bring exposure. So that way these little kids, these little Black boys and girls will know that you can literally do almost anything. Yes. And if you can see it, then you can achieve it. If you can see it, you can believe it. So bringing these stories that's not being told through mainstream media and allow them to see that they can be anything that they want to be in life.
Yeah, and see, that was the thing too, like we've experienced doing our podcast, going in the direction that we're going. Oh, people may not like that show. That may not get a lot of views because we're not with the rigmarole, all of the hoopla and the, all of that stuff. It's enough of that going on.
That's right.
Let's get some exposure. Let's talk about these health issues. Let's talk about, people. We've had everything from a realtor that's $1 million lister selling homes to John White came on and talked about the homeless. Right. You know what I'm saying? So we've talked everything from erectile dysfunction to having a gynecologist on here, a lady specializing in female health. So those are things that's important, and that needs to be shared, via our platform or, so that's why I get what you're saying, because it's a passion that's got to be into you to try to feed your people something other than filth.
That's right.
And so we kind of take pride in steadfast going in our direction. And I admire you guys for doing that same thing and trying to give people something else to look to.
Thank you so much. Platforms like yours is the reason we exist. I just believe wholeheartedly when we as a people know better, we can do better.
Yes.
Information is everything. And so as long as we have platforms like y'all that gives us that's able to feed information to us, right? And we're able to help give you exposure as well, then information allows us to do better than any other generation passing on, because we have more knowledge, more information, more resources, more tools than any generation before us.
And it's happening so fast.
So quick.
So fast. So quick. I mean, I just look at how things have evolved in the past 20 years.
Yeah.
I still remember getting my first cell phone some years ago, and it's like now I'm looking at children with cell phones and iPhones and I'm like, everything moving so fast. I was grown, had done work plenty of jobs.
That's right.
Before I was able to get my first phone, and I'm like, it's just moving so fast, and we have to be so careful what we put out there in the universe.
That's right.
I really do believe that.
I believe that wholeheartedly.
Yeah, so that's why, brother, we're going to keep fighting the good fight. I'm telling you. So let's see. How do you balance creative freedom for content creators with network business goals?
So we really don't get involved in the day-to-day when it comes to content creation, if you will. And I'll tell you the reason being, our overall goal from the beginning has always to be a true television network, right?
Okay.
And so only thing television network is really a distributor.
So, but how do you keep it in check with what content creators are producing that's up to the standard of what Lit TV is trying to put out in the world?
So there's a couple of ways that we do it.
Okay.
Number one, we only go after content creators that have content that fit what it is that we're looking for.
There you go. Okay.
We turn away more business than we bring on.
Okay.
Because with us, it's not about a paycheck. With us, it's about helping to educate, equip, and empower our people of color.
Okay.
And so with that being said, we have a team of account executives literally all over that reach out to content creators. And if their content does not fit our policy, we don't even reach out to them.
Okay.
So that's number one. Number two, once we start getting content in, then we have a content department that they don't do anything but review the content as it comes on. And then even the account executives, their responsibility is also to view the content before it comes on. So you literally have 3 layers that really helps protect the brand and integrity of what it is that we're building,
right?
Which is so important. And if I can say this, so now we have major companies that's getting involved with what it is that we're doing because we do quote unquote local channels. We'll probably talk a little bit about that in just a few moments, but I'll say this. When you have companies like organizations like the Mayo Clinic, they have a division called Eye Care that has a Black men's health channel on our television network, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Okay.
The Mayo Clinic, one of the most largest, well-known hospitals there is out there, right? You have corporations like Ameris Bank, we have partnerships with. Florida Blue, we have partnerships with. You have HBCUs where we have contracts in their legal department now for them to bring their content on. Duval County School Board, we have a legal contract with them as well.
Okay.
And so when you have people, companies and corporations, and you have access to children, you have to protect the integrity of your brand.
Exactly.
And they love what we're doing because everything we do is designed to help educate, equip, and empower.
Nice, nice.
Thank you.
So let me ask you this. How does changing audience habits affect the type of programming that you have? Like, sometimes people like one thing, then they like another. Is it constantly evolving, the content and, the type of shows that you all offer? Yeah,
well, from our end, we're always seeking all type of content because we're quote unquote television network. So we have everything from full feature films, we have short films, we have documentaries, we have plays, we have talk shows, we have podcasts that's on there. So it's a variety. And as long as the content is content, again, that helps to educate, equip, and empower, you can find it on our television network. So whatever it is that you like, if you like fitness, we have fitness shows. If you like faith shows, if you like cooking shows, if you like cartoons, we have it all on the television network.
Okay. So let me ask you, what are some of the biggest financial challenges small networks like Lit TV face, especially in this economical climate of today?
we've been very, very, very blessed. And the reason that I say that is most time when you look at networks that's attempting to do what we're doing, it's really difficult for them because even the large major networks are struggling.
Okay.
Right. So most networks, and when I say network, I'm talking about in the streaming world, the OTT world, like a Netflix, or Amazon Prime, a Hulu, etc. Right. So we're on Amazon Fire Stick, we're on Roku, we're also on Android TV. Right.
Okay.
Now I say that to say this: there's nobody doing what we're doing. We're like the only people that's doing exactly what we're doing. And here's what I mean by that. We literally took 3 different mindsets or ideologies, if you will, and we mixed, matched, and merged them together.
Okay.
One of the things that we've done is local TV. Nobody's doing local TV.
Yeah.
Here's what I mean by that. If I was to ask you right now, what's a local TV station in Jacksonville, what would you say?
I would probably say like Channel 30.
You know why?
Why?
Because Channel 30 plays local news. After the local news go off, what else come on local?
Oh, nothing. Yeah, you're right. So it's like Fox, right? So
Fox 30, right?
Yeah, Fox 30,
or
that's right.
Channel 4.
Okay.
So most people equivalate local with whatever station plays the local news.
Okay.
We're building local channels. Case in point, we have a Duval television channel. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I don't care what you turn to on that channel or what's on during that channel. It's going to be somebody from Jacksonville. It's going to be a short film, a movie. It's going to be something that's shot in Jacksonville, somebody from Jacksonville, a talk show in Jacksonville. And it's all Jacksonville, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Anything positive that's going on in the city of Jacksonville is going on that channel.
So those people you see on that channel, you actually can go to the Winn-Dixie.
You can find them
you may see them in the city. Yeah,
absolutely. So one of the reasons we started doing the local channels like that is not only does it give them exposure, but it helps the local business.
Yeah.
If I just graduate from law school, I don't have the capital, the revenue, or the money to compete against Morgan & Morgan. I don't have the money to compete against Harold & Harold.
Yes.
But we have these local channels so that way our small to mid-sized businesses can compete in the marketplace. If I have a restaurant, I don't have the budget to compete against a McDonald's or a Wendy's.
Yeah.
But we make advertising so affordable so that way even the small to mid-sized business owner can advertise on that local channel, get as much exposure as these big chains that's out there. And then the local content creators that's trying to build their business or build their brand or bring awareness to it, they now have a home to put their content.
Okay.
So nobody is doing local TV. I don't care what city you go to, right?
Yes.
That's one ideology. And then we also took the Netflix model. And what I mean by that is on demand, being able to watch what you want to watch when you want to watch it, right? Anyone that has really tried that model, they're all struggling because they're charging monthly reoccurring charges.
Okay.
We don't charge a monthly reoccurring charge. If you have Roku TV, if you have Android TV, if you have Fire Stick, you can download TV network and it's free of charge.
Okay.
Right. So one, you can watch what you want to watch. I don't have to wait till Friday at 8 o'clock till a television show come on. I can go and binge watch the television shows throughout the course of the week or throughout the course of the day. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we married local TV with on demand, being able to watch what you want to watch when you want to watch it. But then we also took the YouTube concept as well. YouTube allows content creators like yourself to create content and bring it to a central location so that way you can tell people how to watch your content, right?
Yeah.
So we'll allow content creators, local content creators, locally, nationally, internationally, to create their content. And now they have a place that they can bring their content to. You've probably never seen a YouTube commercial. Here's what they know. What they knew is if we build a website, because that's all it was, www.youtube.com. It was a website. And we'll allow people to put their videos on our website. You got to tell people how to get to their website. And then you get enough people coming to their website, they just go to companies and corporations, say, you got business, you got brands, you got products. Let's put your products and services in front of these people that's coming to my website. So we've done the same thing. We've extorted no money when it comes to marketing because the people that come onto our television network, whether they have shows or leased channels, they now have a central location to bring their eyeballs to. And we do the same thing. We go to companies, corporations, they do, you want to put your brand, product, and service in front of these eyeballs. So we took those 3 ideologies and put them together, and there's no one that's doing that.
No one. Yeah, because I didn't think about that when you said about the local channels.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. We don't. I think back in the day they had like a channel 10 or something, some videos.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they was playing videos. I think that was local. I'm not sure, but the quality said very local. The quality said it was in somebody's garage. They was playing these videos. I don't know. It was very, very poor quality.
Yeah.
So that's a good thing that you're providing something for the community.
That's right.
You're providing something where people can learn something
That's
new.
right.
Where people can let their children watch.
That's right.
And I possibly could run into this person.
Listen.
And say hello to him in the store.
Case in point, my business partner and I met Mayor Deegan before she became mayor, down in the Democratic Convention. I think it was in 2022 in Tampa, Florida, right? So because we're a television network, Black television network, like even in politics, in order for a politician to get their messaging or their campaign in front of Black and brown people, 9 times out of 10, they're going to try to find their way into some church. Now we have an entire television channel, television network that they can get in front of and allow people to hear what it is that they're running on, and they control their narrative.
Yeah.
So like we're one of the media groups for the Florida Black Caucus. The head of the Florida Black Caucus, State Representative Diane Hart, she runs the Tampa Bay television station.
Okay.
So we have a station in Tampa. We have one in Kansas City. We have, of course, Jacksonville. We have Clay County Television. Tomorrow, we launch a television station in Dallas, Texas.
Nice.
So what we're doing here, we're literally doing it all over the country.
Okay.
And soon, if you want to go to Orlando, you'll be able to go to Lit Television Network, click on the Orlando channel. You'll be able to see the top Black restaurants, the top Black car rentals, the top Black hairstylists, anything that's going on in that community, you'll be able to find it on that channel. So it's an ecosystem to allow money to stay in the Black community.
Amen to that. Listen. So let me just ask you this quick question.
Yes.
I got a couple, so we're going to have to run through them. What advice would you give someone aspiring to enter into the television industry?
Create content and start. And
Just
that depends on what side. As a content creator or someone looking to actually become like a channel owner, if you will, because we deal with both.
Okay.
If you're looking to get on the content, buy you a camera, get you some lighting, do some research, but create content. There are so many different avenues that you can create content and put it on now. And as you start growing your audience, it puts you in a position to go to the higher level, because what people want to be entertained, or they need something of value.
Okay.
And if you can provide entertainment, or if you can provide value, something that people can apply to their lives, they'll follow you anywhere you go.
All right. So let me ask you this. What other passions are you pursuing at the time?
Oh, goodness. I'm in a lot. Like you said, with the United Negro College Fund, I'm a champion for HBCUs. And that allows me to work on both sides of the field, because it allows me to help generate and bring revenue in to help kids go into historically Black colleges and universities.
Yes.
But then on the Lit TV network side, it allows us to partner with HBCUs. So now we can put them on television, and now our children from K through 12 can see them as a viable option to get educated. Mental health is a big one. You mentioned earlier, I'm from Chattahoochee, Florida. The state's first mental institution is in my hometown.
Yes.
And nearly everybody in my family, from one time or another, has worked at the Florida State Hospital.
Okay.
My grandmother met my grandfather there. My mother worked there. My uncles worked there. My aunts worked there. So when it comes down to mental health, in particular in the Black community, is quote unquote taboo, if you will.
Yes.
And so one of the things that I do is I spend a lot of time just talking about, even in the spiritual aspect, things as it pertains to mental health. And I just believe that overall, when we're able to get information, we're able to know better, then we're able to do better.
All right. And last question.
Okay.
What do you want your legacy to be?
My legacy to be that I was a person of love. Anyone that has ever met me in life, they will tell you that I am what they call a master grace distributor. I understand that even when it comes down to God, if I can say that, we get nothing from him unless it's through grace. And people don't mind being on the recipient end of grace. We just have a problem when it's our time to distribute it. I can't love you if I'm not willing to yield grace to you.
Yes.
At the same time, if I'm not willing to give you grace, then I can't say that I love you. So my legacy will be, he was a master grace distributor that loved his community, that loved his people.
Yes. I will also say a servant.
Thank you.
Servant of God, servant of the community.
Thank you.
Really.
Thank you.
Because you can see the passion when you speak about it. And that means a lot, and that will take you so far, which you've already.
Thank you.
You're there. You know what I'm saying? You're constantly teaching and sharing the gifts that God has given you and the blessings that He's bestowed upon you. So
thank you.
I just want to thank you for being a pillar in our community.
Thank you.
And so that's it, you guys. This is Mr. Mike Grubbs of Lit TV. Before we go, Mike, let the people know how they can reach you if they're interested in your services.
Absolutely. You can reach out to me directly. My email address is Mike, that's MIKE, at lit, LITTVnetwork.com. Again, that's Mike at lit, LITTVnetwork.com. I'm on all your social media platforms. If you just put Mike Grubbs in there, I'm going to pop up. And then don't forget to download Lit TV Network. We're on Roku, we're on Fire Stick, we're on Android television, and it's free of charge. But make sure you put Lit TV Network, because if you just put Lit TV, you might get lit up. Lit TV Network. Thank you, Nicole.
All right, you all. This has been another Self-Made Taste Better production. This is your girl, NickyNicole from Divas of the Round Table Podcast. Y'all be blessed. Have a good evening. Goodbye.